Hey YouTube, we are going to re-examine Shadow Steelix in the Great League. When it first came out, I put out a Beyond the Hype video. Everyone was like, this thing is OP, this thing is broken, yada yada yada, this thing's gonna be instant meta in Great League. And I'm like, no, it's none of those things. Here are like the 4 reasons why it's not gonna be. And then I went everything over, like, it has too many losses against the main meta, it's bait dependent with Breaking Swipe and Earthquake, and a few others. And a lot of that stuff I said is true and still holds true. However, I went up against it twice in my Toronto regional run, and both times it gave me problems if you don't have a check for it, based on just its bulk and ability to just kind of spam Dragon Tails and Breaking Swipes with which are both pretty good moves. So if we're looking at the main meta here, one of the first things I said is, so 23-19 record overall fine record. One main thing I said is it loses against too much of the meta, and that is still kind of true, right? Powder Stone A9, A/, Swampert, Azumarill's coming back, Metachamp, Lantern, Superior, right? There's a lot of meta that it does lose to, but it does have actually some good play against some of the other meta, right? There is non-Shadow Gligar, there's Umbreon, there's Lickitungs that you can just go breaking, like, and I looked at it, and so in this analysis with Lickitung, I'm like, oh look, they say throw the Earthquake, it's so bait dependent, this is BS. But then actually I'm like, I took Earthquake off, and you could just go straight Breaking Swipe to beat Lickitung. So like, okay, it can beat Lickitung straight up, it could be like Carbink doesn't have anything to throw because its Rock Slide, Moonblast are all resisted. This new Pokemon Clodsire that just came out, it's going to beat that because it can only throw Earthquakes, but you're just going to be able to Breaking Swipe. I'm wondering if this is bait dependent. I'm pretty sure you can probably just go straight Breaking Swipe. I know you're going to land an Earthquake to win. I'm wondering if you don't have the Earthquake, if you can just go straight Breaking Swipe, or is it bait dependent? No, you can just go straight Breaking Swipe. You'll win with a couple HP. So landing the Earthquake is obviously better, but you can do it there. And then there's like other Pokemon here. So it does have some play. And in terms of the losses, like there are some hard losses, 129, 190, stuff like that. But what I found was, even in somewhat bad matchups, you can just like chip a ton with Breaking Swipe and Dragon Tail. So from that perspective, it wasn't that bad. I still think that it is a little bit dependent. I still think that it does have a lot of hard losses that you need to pivot. So I put in a team of Steelix, Sableye, Superior, and a couple leads here that I misplayed. This is one of them that I misplayed, but I had a second chance at Defense Deoxys. So in this matchup, Steelix versus Defense Deoxys, I decided to get out into Sableye, which is stupid because if they have a Defense Deoxys, they definitely have an answer to Sableye, which is a Lickitung. Lucky, I think I remember landing 2 returns on this, so I was able to flip switch here. I'm pretty sure, or I grab a shield or something. But Steelix, although you're taking super effective from counters because you have steel, you're stealing ground, so Thunderbolt, Rock Slide, Psycho Boost, all resisted. So Defense Deoxys doesn't have anything to throw you. That being said, I remember staying in, and I remember what the Defense Deoxys did. Basically, I did Dragon Tail, Breaking Swipe multiple times, and then they just left with 100 energy into their next Pokemon. But as you see, I flip switch here, but I don't need it because they have a Greninja. A lot of people are starting to bring Greninja into Open Great League. I noticed that this past week, like everyone used it in the previous cup, which makes sense because it was so powerful, but a lot of people are actually bringing it to Open, which it does have play. Get off the Frenzy Plant, they let it go, and this is the point where I'm like, okay, shield this, they go straight Psycho Boost, which is an interesting choice because now their attack's lower, so now these counters aren't doing anything, and then I could just Break and Swipe, I can Dragon Tail down, Break and Swipe thing a couple times, and this is over. So this is a good lead here. Obviously I'm doing super effective, they're doing resisted, they get out into the Owl. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I don't have an amazing answer for the Owl in the back, right? Grass and Sableye. So this is kind of my best answer. So I'm definitely just going to stay in here. And it's one of those things where this is where it's like, it's both good and bad, right? Because you're taking you're doing resisted. Okay. You're doing resisted. They are doing resisted wing attacks and hitting for neutral Shadow Balls. You're doing neutral Dragon Tails and Breaking Swipes. Despite lowering their attack once and now for the second time, despite throwing resisted wing attacks, they still take you down to the red. And this is kind of where I always thought it, like, is this thing really that good? But then a Lantern comes in, and it's like, okay, I'm already at Break and Swipe. This is going to chip. They end up shielding. They have Spark, so that's resisted, so they're going to have to throw, or else I'm going to get to another one. So I grab the shield, lower their attack. And so it's just like, it starts adding up. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe this thing is not as... I kind of went the opposite end in my initial analysis. I think I was just so sick of every single content creator being like, this thing's busted, this thing's OP, this thing's going to break the meta. It's like, no, stop clickbaiting people. So I almost clickbaited the other way. I went like, don't build this up at all for Open Great League, which I don't think that is true. I think it definitely has played. Like any neutral matchup here where you have like a Dragon Tail advantage, I think you just like almost stay and just take the win, just being able to like overpower with these Dragon Tails and Breaking Swipes. So from that perspective, I kind of liked it. I think my opponent actually made a mistake, because if they were Charm A9, it would be a lot closer to leave. If they're Powder Snow, they should definitely stay, because this is such a good matchup for Powder Snow. And they come back in, and I think they were running Powder Snow, if I remember. I think it comes back in here. Yeah, they're definitely running Powder Snow. So I get an Earthquake off, which is nice. And now I can align Sableye instead of my Superior. So this team's kind of got a couple double weaknesses in the back to like Noctowl, and this will cause a bit of problems. But luckily, having seen that it is a Powder Snow, I'm able to just come in and Shadow Claw down while not taking super effective. I'll shield up one. They're not going to get to back-to-back because the first one could have been Gleam, but it's not. And what is in the back? Cofagrigus, so Sableye is going to go on a rampage here, and the Superior should sweep up if they... I'm pretty sure they try to like farm down as their only win con here. But I get to 3 foul plays. So yes, so in conclusion, is this worth building up in the Great League? Sure. I won't say don't build it. I still stand by it's not overpowered, it's not broken, it's not meta, and it still has a lot of main problems with Great League meta Pokemon. Like, we haven't even seen a Metachamp lead yet. We haven't seen a Swampert lead yet, right? We haven't seen a lot of those things that can beat this on the lead. End up baiting here because I'm like, maybe they'll think it's an Earthquake and I can get this. And I think they do end up shielding this. So that was good. But yeah, I do think that I went a little too hard on it at the beginning. Having played against it in the Toronto Regional, the problem with my Toronto Regional team is I didn't have a check for it. I had Superior, which is a win, but it's not like a Swampert or a Stunfisk win. I guess I had a couple checks for it because I had Medi, which I had aligned on it in one matchup, which made it much, much easier. And then I had Superior. But like Carbink loses to it, Gligar's and Non-Shadow loses to it. What are my other 2 Pokemon? Charjabug just gets walled by it. Yeah, Carbink and Charjabug just get walled by it. Superior wins, Metachamp wins, Lickitung is close, and then Superior wins. So I had a couple checks for it, but I didn't have like the Swampert, Stunfisk, stuff like that where you can just like absolutely destroy it, sort of thing, which is where it becomes a little more scary. So if you have this Pokemon and you can build it up and pair it with Pokemon that can kind of deal with everything that I just mentioned there, right? You have to deal with your Swamperts, Steelix and stuff like that, which is where Superior comes in, and then Metachamp and stuff like that. That's where Sableye comes in, right? So that is how I built the team. You just kind of need to counter every single one of those Pokemon. If you do that, I think it has some good play in Great League, especially when you get good leads like this. The good leads like this, like, that's the thing. If they decide to stay in here, it's an easy win. They have 2 options. It's either they're going to stay in here and just get killed, or they're going to get out and you're probably going to have an answer for what they have, right? Because at worst, they come in like Lickitung here, which I think maybe I've seen 1 or 2 of that before, and I just like stay in and break and swipe one, and then I get into a superior. I think was my play, how I played it out. But like I just stay in here. Like again, Dragon Tail break and swipes, that's good chip. That's 50% chip on a Medi. And now because I did not give up switch here, I just got this backline hard countered. So this was a pretty, this was 100% just a hard counter team. My Steelix on their Dragonair, my Sableye on their Medi, and my Superior on their Carbink. So that's a very, very easy win for me here. And Superior charges so fast, I'm going to get to 3 Frenzy before the switch clock is even up. So with that, this game is over. So yeah, so where would I rank it overall? I still don't think it's like top, like where is it ranked on PV Poke? I still don't think it's like a top 10. There's like 15 to 20 other Pokemon I'd rather use before I use Steelix. It is ranked 10th. Actually, the normal one is ranked 10th. The Shadow's ranked 28th, right? That being said, Medicham, Carbink, Lickitung, Gligar, Swampert. I want to test out, although I'm posting this after the Clodsire, I want to test out Clodsire. I will test it out and I'll post before my thoughts on that on Beyond the Hype. But then there's like Pelipper, Sableye, Superior, Ninetales. I think there's a lot of other Pokemon on this list that I would much prefer to use in the Great League meta before I use this Pokemon. So I do think it is probably worth like a top 15 to 20 investment, but it's not worth like a top 5. And I think that was I think that was my biggest issue with people, is they were treating this like this is a top 5 broken Pokemon. It's not. It's a good Pokemon. Definitely has play. Has some limitations against them in the main meta, but you can chip a bunch and then do okay just with its strength and its bulk. So I definitely put in like the top 10 to 15 for the Great League meta. Closer to 15 in my opinion. So yes, a far cry from you shouldn't build it up, but also a far cry from this thing's broken, you need to build it up immediately. It's a tool in the kit that you can use to do well in the Open Great League. Getting this chip here is actually huge. I decided to stay because I thought I can get to another one. I can't, but the damage is done. I know they're just going to go Poison Fang first, so I just let the first one go. And then I can just farm up to 2 Air Laces because Dragon Tails have done enough damage. I have 1 shield left. They have 1 shield left. I'll get to 2 Air Laces probably before they get to 2 Poison Fangs because they already threw 1 and that's their second. So I'll get this and then I'll go 1 more Vine Whip and Air Lace. Oh, no. I get outpaced. I guess they did have 3 Poison Fangs. Then Froslass. Froslass is a decent lead. Let's see if I shield or not. You'll live with ease. The question was, if I shielded that, could I have... I think if I shielded that, I probably could have easily taken Switch. I was to say, I probably take Switch anyways. And here's the Lickitung that I was talking about. I often did this. Because the licks and body slams do add up quite a lot if you don't lower its attack. So that's why I felt like I should do that. I don't think going down there is the right play. What do they have on the lead? Froslass, right. I think the reason I did go down there is because I did not want to get switch locked Froslass on my Superior. I think that was my main thing. But now I also have to worry that they have a second Sableye answer in the back. So I think I just want to take this out and then Froslass comes in. I think I want to get out of here into Sableye and... I gotta save this because I feel like they have 2 Sableye answers in the back. And I'm probably now going to try an instant swap here. Yeah. Oh, no, they do not. They have 2 things weak to Sableye. Froslass against Sableye isn't a close-ish matchup, actually. Because Power Snow's Avalanche do hurt a lot, but you're doing just super effective with the Claws and Foul Play. That those add up also just as fast, if not faster, quite honestly. So, with that, even though they have a shield advantage here, I am able to grab a second shield. Probably. Yeah. I do shield back. I think I do well on the CMPs here. Just to minimize, because I need to make sure I have close to a foul play coming out, and I think I just CMP them twice to minimize damage and maximize sort of my energy gain, and now we get to a foul play. So yeah, fast move timing video. Haven't checked that out? Go check that out. I posted that last week. Actually, that's counting moves. Actually, that's on fast move timing, because those are both 2 times fast moves. Those are counting moves and CMPing. That is next Monday, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, sorry Steelix, I was a little too hard on you at the beginning. I think it is strong in this meta. Again, I'm going to mention it again. Not OP, still has its problems, but better than I initially thought. So that is it. Stay tuned for more videos this week. I'll probably post 1 or 2 on most days, with either 1 and a short or 2 videos most days this week, because Great League is easy just to cycle through teams. I can go through a bunch. Ultra League and Electric Cup next week. I think I need to get a little creative, which is why you have a counting video coming on Monday for game mechanics. But that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.